This is going to be the demo for Tumbling Blocks. So you're going to want to get the bag that says Tumbling Blocks, and you should have a series of pieces. You should have a number 1 and a number 2 and a number 3. There are extra 2s and 3s in here. That is simply for sharing. If you're going to sit with someone, that's fine, is doing the same as you were doing. That's totally okay with me as long as you're working. So you don't need these 2 pieces. They can go right back in the baggie, and we'll be putting pieces away as we go. You're going to need 8 of each shape. So your first one is going to be actually your first color. We are going to create concentric shapes, but we're going to create them with the 1 being your first layer, 2 being your second, and 3 being your third color of your layers. So we want to start with your darkest color first, which will be your blue. I'm choosing a 3 color scheme here. This is a analogous color scheme because they're next to each other on the color wheel. So you would have blue and then green and then yellow on the color wheel. I'm going to make this my number 1, okay? And I'm going to go right against the edge. I want to use as much of the paper as I can. If I kind of scatter them around, I'm wasting paper. So we don't want to do that. I'm going to trace with my pencil, holding down really tightly on my stencil. Now, the thing with the dark paper like this, it's hard to see your pencil lines. So if you're struggling with that, grab a white colored pencil and trace with the white colored pencil. Will be your best tool to use for that. I would say that Tumbling Blocks is going to use some of the most paper out of any of them, especially for just this first color is going to use the most, only because you can't fit that many on. So you should be able to fit about 8. If you can't, you are more than welcome to get a second piece of paper. Then when I'm done tracing, I'm simply just going to cut them out, and you will all get a baggie with your name on them. That is for safekeeping for when we go to glue. We're going to start by cutting all your shapes out first. So I can't fit that on there. Nope. Oh, I can fit one right here, which means I only need 1 little piece. So really you could go to the scrap box or a neighbor that might have the color and have extra, and just simply use that to create your 8th one. All right, now I'm going to cut those out. Another good tip I thought of is you might want to write top and bottom how I traced it. So this would be top, bottom. You could also just write T and B, which would help. T, B. This is going to help you line up your blocks when you go to glue them. Trust me, you want all the help you can get because it's going to get very confusing. All right, so there I have my 8 of my number 1. Can put that back in its bag so it's all safe and secure. Doesn't lose it. We don't lose it. It doesn't go anywhere. All right, large pieces like this can totally go back in the scrap boxes in the cool bin. Small pieces like this, I mean, some people might be able to use it for maybe some of their smaller concentric shapes in their designs, but really, honestly, this stuff can just go right in the recycling bin. All right, moving on to number 2. I'm going to go with my second darkest color, which happens to be my green. And again, I'm going to trace 8 of these. So I'm going to line it up as best as I can in the corner. Remember, really utilizing that edge of the paper so that we use all the paper we can, we don't waste. And I'm going to erase that because I got a little boo-boo on my tracer. All right. Probably the next best thing is to just line these up like this. Moving on to my third color, I'm going to do my number 3, so my 2 can go back in the bag for safekeeping. And I'm going to move on to my third. Obviously, I don't need much of this paper, so if you just want to get it out of the scrap bin, totally fine. All right. This guy's really small. He's a little tricky. So just have some patience because he's going to be a little frustrating at times. All right, lining it right up with the next one, utilizing the most of that paper. And voila, there you have all of your shapes that you need and your concentric colors for your tumbling blocks.